We'll call the meeting to order today of the Kennedale BOA at 5:30. And we have our first order of business is to call roll. And Tina, would you mind doing that for me?
Place one, Crum. Absent. Sorry. Place two, Turner. Place three, Rod.
Present.
Place four, Hollins.
Present.
Place five, Vader.
Present.
Madam Chair, all are present. We have a
Great. So
quorum.
We have a quorum in play. Great. Sign-in sheet, we don't need it yet. And so Nathan, you're here on behalf of the city, but our fire representative, does he need to sign in, and has he?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we can have him do that.
We'll get you to sign in, and you can do that whenever. And then he'll speak tonight, right?
If needed, yeah.
Okay, so we'll need to swear him in.
Oh, the first one for the approval of the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. so-
Oh, approval of the minutes. Sorry, I'm trying with all my papers.
no, that's all
I'll
right.
get there. All right. The approval of the minutes from the March 6, 2025 specially called Board of Adjustment meeting. Were there any corrections, or do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Affirmative, thanks, Tina. The second order of business is technical in nature. We just needed to clarify and make sure that we understand that the board will meet on the second Thursday at 5:30 here, and any follow-up meeting would be right behind that. Do I have, can I ask for a motion on that?
And if I need to clarify or speak more to that, I'm happy to.
I don't think so. I think it's just
No, it's pretty straightforward.
technical, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we meet on the second Thursday every month
At 5:30?
at 5:30 with any additional meetings to follow.
I will second.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay, it affirmatively passes. All right, we will move straight into the public hearing and case BOA 2503. And we're going to receive comments and consider action on a request for a variance as required by the United Development Code, Article 3, Table 3.3, R3 Residential District, to allow for a reduction of the front setback from 20 to 16 feet for the property located at 100 Clover Lane Drive, City of Kennedale, Tarrant County, Texas. And we can start
Okay,
with the applicant or with you, Nathan?
sure, if we could open up, if you'll just note the time for the open.
Oh, I apologize, 5:34 to open the public hearing.
I know Tina's going to ask me later, and I'm not going to know, so I'll tell her, check YouTube. And I don't think we have anybody here signed up for it, so if we want to close that, that'd be great, too.
All right, if no one's here to speak, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:35.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here tonight. And this particular case is, for us, is pretty straightforward. As you know, that the fire station is undergoing a remodel, and we're anticipating the submittal here pretty soon. But before they can do their official submittal, they need to make sure that the plans are correct upon submittal, and part of that has to do with the build line issue of their EOC, Emergency Operations Center, and training room. So that your fire station will have an EOC, so it's the first EOC, official EOC in Kennedale. So I believe parts of City Hall have been used as a EOC at times when needed. But this room is special to the city, but also much needed. And because of that, it requires certain square footages. And as the design is right now, there's a bump out in that room itself. that encroaches into the front yard or front setback, which is on Clover Lane. It requires a 20-foot setback in the zoning district, and this bump out encroaches into that 2.5 feet. And so the request is to allow for a reduction or a 16-foot setback. And the reason why they're asking for a 16 is that, in construction, things vary, and it gives them a little bit more wiggle room when they set the forms down for that exterior facade or that wall, which on that side of the building will be a substantial foundation wall. And so as they start digging and going into that, sometimes they don't want to be held to, a stricter standard as, if we call it 17 or something like that. So it provides them a little variable to work with there. And so with that, we don't have any objections to that. Typically on a variance, we're looking at, well, is there something unique or specific to that location that isn't unique and specific to another location? And this is the case in that it's the fire station, it's the EOC that the city would need. For me, if I tell the engineer, the architect, I'm sorry, you got to meet the 20-foot setback, which technically we've done, what it'll do is reduce the square footage of the room, which in turn reduces the occupant load of the room itself in the building. We've also discussed about, well, can that whole side of the building get pushed back, to accommodate for that? And what that does, that just changes a lot of the configuration of the hallways and other additional rooms. And then they are limited on I guess it would be the south end where the drive is right now, because then they start encroaching into that fire lane there. So we believe that it's a reasonable request for a variance to ask for that setback to be reduced to 16 feet. So with that, the fire chief is here to answer any questions that the board may have.
Does the city have any ordinance on the books that requires sidewalks with this kind of new construction?
It does. So there will be a pedestrian walkway. On Clover Lane, you will actually see what they call head-in parking along Clover Lane. Now, normally, and the city council previously put in place a new parking ordinance, which our development code typically prohibits head-in parking, meaning you pull in and when you have to back out, you're backing out onto a public. We don't typically want that. But in cases of redevelopment, Old Town, places where your quarters are a lot tight or tighter, and maybe you don't have the bar ditches or things like that, we went ahead and put that in there to allow for that. So it'll have that front area, head-in parking with a sidewalk, pedestrian sidewalk that'll walk and lead into the building on that side. The only part where the sidewalk won't continue technically is the drive that's existing there for the fire trucks to come out. But on the other end, I did discuss with Grossman, the architects there, about continuing the sidewalk along what would be Crestview in that area, because I know we've got that across the way. And then as property develops further down Crestview, we envision a sidewalk coming down that one to the parkway. So there'll be a sidewalk connection there.
So accommodating to the ridiculous amount of students walking back and forth through there, don't feel like we're going to have any hindrances with it?
No, in fact, the section right outside where this bump out is just green space, it'll be a grassed area. And then it's the sidewalk, and then it's the head-in parking.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Fader, do you have any questions tonight? I do not. How about you, Ms. O'Malley? Okay. Quick question. We have a lot of neighbors impacted. Were they all good with this? Did they have any
We have not
concerns,
received,
issues,
yeah, we have
feedback?
not received any calls or concerns about that. We did publish, and we sent out the required notices to everybody in the area, but hadn't heard back.
Okay, is the north side the obvious front door now? Because normally you'd come in from the east, right?
Yes, so that's going to be the Clover Lane will have the front door. And there'll be a lobby area, small lobby area, and there'll be a service window there that the admin will be there. Chief's got a brand-new office over there with fire marshal and everything like that. I'm a little jealous. But that training room, EOC, will be located right off of that. And so the city as a whole, we look forward to utilizing that room for training, you know, particularly with public safety and, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Chief, is there anything you'd like to say?
Not really anything to add, but this will serve as the city's EOC, Emergency Operations Center. The structure itself will be hardened walls, so that probably makes it a little bit thicker than the normal wall, but it's built to, you know, withstand that severe weather incident or whatever, so we can maintain operations within our city.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. Anything else? If not, do I have any consideration for this case?
I will make a motion to approve item BOA case 25-03 as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Okay, we've had a motion and a second on the table for case BOA 25-03. All those in favor? Anyone opposed tonight? Okay, it's passed. Thank you. Okay, that is the last thing on our agenda, this agenda for BOA this evening. Do I have anyone interested in adjourning? Second. And all those in favor? Okay. All right, we are closed at 5:43.